Lost Relics! It has been around for quite some time, and actually it was the first NFT game we ever covered in the crypto herd. So today we're going to analyze the current situation of this game, and we're going to answer the question: is it still worth to play Lost Relics in 2022? Stay until the end to find out. We're getting started right now. Lost Relics, previously known as Forgottern Artifacts, was released on the 23rd of May of 2019, where players were able to play the pre-alpha version and start to collect NFTs on this Enjin Play2Earn ARPG. In this game you go into multiple dungeons where there's a chance that every monster or treasure chest drops an NFT. The idea looks pretty good if you ask me. Cliff, the one-man army developing the game, had the vision before anyone else, developing a play-to-earn game that was looking like Diablo or Torchlight and had NFTs, way before they became a big trend. NFTs that had utility inside the universe of Lost Relics. Cliff Colley has been busy, and we saw lots of new updates like new dungeons, new professions, bosses, quests, but it looks like Lost Relics lost a bit the hype that once had. I believe there's multiple reasons why this happens. The first one is that the play-to-earn is simply bad. I've spent countless hours grinding in Lost Relics dungeons, and my NFT collection in this game is worth 68 Enjin. So that's around 88 USD if all my items get sold out. It's very rare that you actually drop an NFT, and when you do, usually it just gets sold by a few dollars. My rarest weapon is an epic blockchain bow that is costing 20 USD right now, and I dropped it after 3 months playing frequently. Second reason is when Lost Relics began, there wasn't much of a competition, but that is changing fast with big titles like Guild of Guardians, Ember Sword and Synergy Lands coming out this year. These projects are being backed by a full dev team that can bring new features much faster than what is being done in Lost Relics, even though we've been seeing progress in this game. Also, these games are going to come out with a bunch of features that are missing Lost Relics, like skills and classes for example. In Lost Relics, combat is still too simple: left click for normal attack and right click for special attack. That has the same animation as the normal one, so you don't even notice a difference. Another thing is, even though we saw new enemies in dungeons, it's just too repetitive. If you don't own the pendant that gives you access to the premium dungeons, you'll spend lots of time grinding the same dungeon over and over, even though dungeons are randomly generated. Also, Enjin didn't have that much competition 2 years ago, but now it changed with lots of projects popping up in BNB Chain, Polygon and Solana. This being said, I still believe that there's still lots of potential in Lost Relics. Even though new ARPGs are coming out, Lost Relics is still the only playable ARPG in NFT gaming. Also, Cliff is releasing updates at a faster pace. We saw one big massive update that brought lots of new things to Lost Relics, like the fact that you are now able to drop shadowstones. 100 of those is equivalent to 1 Enjin. I'm going to leave a video in the description with all the information you need about what changed in the last update. Also, Lost Relics has a small but solid community, packed with streamers and YouTubers creating content every day. Also, Cliff has been dropping some leaks, which makes me believe that we have an upcoming big update to this game. Look at this, new maps, new monsters, and now I think which other new features are we going to see in Lost Relics in this next big update. The game is actually fun to play. There's some thrill when you're in a dungeon and you fall into a trap, run out of healing items, and you have to find the exit. Otherwise, if you die, you lose all your non-NFT items, which is quite tragic. Do you know what else is fun? Smashing that like button to help the crypto herd with the YouTube algorithm. Personally, I like to play it once in a while and stream casually. It's a fun game, but not the game that gets me hooked into my computer for countless hours. There's a good rush of dopamine every time I slay a boss or open a chest. You never know what might be dropped. Also, some NFTs are really expensive. Right here, Illinae's Avail. 1399 Enjin, 2k right there in a single NFT. Obviously, dropping one of these is like winning the lottery. We also have to consider that the game is still in alpha, so obviously this isn't the final product, and also Tell me one thing, which games managed to have a decent play to earn so far? Maybe X Infinity, but just for a few months. And now PegXC, but the prices are also going down. That's the truth about NFT gaming. There's really no project that managed to deliver a decent play to earn economy that lasted for a long time. So from my perspective, Cliff, the single developer of Lost Relics, should try to get some investors to back this project and find a decent dev team to speed up the process of building this game. Which brings us to the title of the video. Is it worth to play Lost Relics in 2022? I always make myself two questions when considering to invest time in a game, because time is the most valuable resource that you have. Is the game fun to play, and how much can I earn by playing? Well, to the first question, personally I like to play Lost Relics casually, okay, because if I grind too much I get tired, because as it is to expected from an alpha game, there's still not enough content. But Cliff is working on that. We just saw a leak with new game modes, the new map, new monsters, so definitely the team is working on this issue. And how much can I earn? The answer is not enough. So play the game just for fun if you like it, but don't expect to get a decent source of income by doing so. It's a good game for an alpha game. A good strategy could be to grind some of the NFTs, okay, while having fun. Hold on to those NFTs, because one day the player base might increase with new updates and new game features. So if this happens, a higher player base usually means in NFT gaming a higher demand for the game assets, and a higher demand usually means a higher price. So it could be a viable strategy to farm some NFTs and hold on to them. But if this happens or not, it will depend entirely on Cliff Colley. By the way, if you want to learn how to get skill in Lost Relics, I got a video that you can check right here. Guys, thanks for watching, and I see Cryptomaniacs in the metaverse.